Hello, everybody. We are live. And before I jump in, let me just make sure that the health of the stream is looking good. All right. Looks like we're live. Let me pause that. Guys, I think we can all agree that we all loved Will Smith, right? I mean, we can all agree that we've all loved Will Smith. I mean, he's Will Smith. I mean, just look at the guy. I mean, he's Will Smith. I mean, come on. What's there not to like? Mr. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Mr. Independence Day, Mr. I Am Legend. But unfortunately, it seems that Mr. Will Smith's career has sort of taken a turn for the worse in the last couple years. And I'm the last person who wants to critique Will Smith because he always seemed like just such a nice guy and a good role model for Black Americans in this terrible age where there's so many reasons to think you're oppressed and to think you're a victim. Will Smith was always just, for anybody, a great role model. But then things started taking a turn for the worst a few years ago. This is from 2016. Will Smith confirms he won't attend Oscars in Roe over lack of diversity. The Men in Black actor says an all-white Best Actor nomination list makes attending the Academy Awards awkward. And when I saw this a few years ago, this is when I started to realize that this ain't the Will Smith I grew up watching on movies and watching on television. Someone said, yeah, somebody in the chat saying some funny shit. Something started to take a turn for the worse for Will Smith. And here's a quote. He goes, "So many different people from so many different places adding their ideas to this beautiful American gumbo," said Will Smith. "At its best, Hollywood represents and creates the imagery for that beauty. But for my part, I think I have to protect and fight for the ideals that make our country and make our Hollywood community great." Indeed, Will Smith was butthurt that at the Oscars, his film Concussion, he wasn't nominated for Best Actor. And of course, this was a time when, the Oscars, like every single Best Actor that was on the list was a white. And there was this Oscars so white, stupid bullshit that I learned to unplug from a long time ago. Because it's all just fake, toxic shit to perpetuate mental illness, basically. So I was surprised. Now listen, I didn't watch Will Smith's film Concussion. I didn't even hear anything about it. And you can claim that that's racism. But honestly, it wasn't racism, as far as I'm concerned. It probably was just a stupid ass movie. So that's it. So the thing is that Will Smith, instead of just accepting that, dude, you were a top tier actor for decades. I mean, highest paid, probably top of the list. Why can't you just accept your glory days? And instead of calling it racism, why not just consider that maybe, just maybe, you're beyond your glory days? And guess what, guys? That's literally what today's video is about. And we've all seen the YouTube Rewind fiasco. Okay, so Will Smith, who says it's racist that he's not nominated for Best Actor in a film that no one watched, Concussion, he says that's racist. Yet here he is, like a privileged, pampered Hollywood baby, put in the forefront of YouTube Rewind 2018. This outsider, not a YouTuber. Okay, fine, he had a YouTube channel in 2018 that, some manager probably told him to start doing, and he probably didn't even do anything. They just had a film crew filming him, basically. Copying and pasting that Casey Neistat style YouTube vlog format and just plastering it onto a Hollywood celebrity. Okay, so give me a break. Give me a break. So Will Smith gets a golden platform handed to him. The biggest spot of the year, YouTube Rewind, 165 million views down here. I hope you guys can see that right up there. 165 million views. And what happens? Will Smith ends up being the starting featured face in the most disliked video in the history of the internet. Susan Wojcicki, YouTube's CEO, says that her kids told her YouTube Rewind was cringy. This is what we're dealing with here. So, as if things weren't looking bad enough for Will That's Racist Smith, as if being a part of the cringiest, most disliked video in the history of the internet wasn't bad enough for Will Smith. Yesterday, a new trailer is released for the upcoming Aladdin film. And the dislikes should tell you everything you need to know. This is Aladdin by Disney. You can't fuck this up. I mean, you can't. It's impossible to fuck this up, right? 72,000 dislikes to 47,000 likes. This is a disaster. And guess what? The primary reason people are butthurt, people are disgusted by this, is because Will Smith, his character in this film, behold the cringe for yourself.
You really don't know who I am. Genie, wishes, lamb, none of that ringing a bell.
Oh God, I gotta watch that. Let's go.
Don't know who I am. Genie, wishes, lamb, none of that ringing a bell. Genie, wishes, lamb, none of that ringing a bell. You don't know who I am. Genie, wishes, lamb, none of that ringing a bell.
Oh my God. My first question is, why does Will Smith's character who plays Genie, why does he sound like Will Smith from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
No. I want to hook Jeffrey up with a woman, man, so he can get busy.
Why?
His lamb, none of that ringing a bell.
No. I want to hook Jeffrey up with a woman, man, so he can get...
Don't know who I am. Genie, wishes, lamb, none of that ringing a bell.
Get busy. Oh, shut up! No. I want to hook Jeffrey up with a woman, man, so he can get busy.
You really don't know who I am. Genie, wishes, lamb, none of that ringing a bell.
What? Why did... where do we even begin? But why would... Okay. Oh, listen. When Robin Williams played Aladdin, right, in the original Aladdin, the cartoon version, right? When Robin Williams played Aladdin... Sorry, when Robin Williams played Genie, Robin Williams, the Genie cartoon character, did not look like Robin Williams. Why did they have to copy and paste Will Smith's actual face onto this guy? It looks ridiculous. He looks retarded. He absolutely looks ridiculous. But I guess they had to put Will Smith's face on there because, hey, you had a great diversity hire. You put a popular black guy as the Genie in the star role in this incredible remake, live action remake. So I guess they had to put Will Smith's face on there because, how could you not put Will Smith's face on there? Because, you got a black dude, and that's diversity, and that's progress. You can't have Will Smith just play the voice in the background. Speaking of the blue paint they put it on, speaking of blackface, this is straight up blueface. They changed his skin from black to blue. Well, technically they changed his skin from brown You know, because Will Smith is brown. Seems like most black men are actually just browns. It's not even an accurate term to call it black. I don't even think the blackest men are black. It's brown. You're brown, dude. But so they make them blue. Okay, that's just weird. That's ironic. That's funny. But it's a joke. It's a circus. And guys, I think it's officially time to say that Will Smith's career is officially over, and I don't relish in this at all. I never gave a crap either way about Will Smith until he came out and said that the Oscars are white racist KKK rallies because there's all white actors are nominated. It's like, dude, if you feel that in America the Oscars are disproportionately white and racist, then why don't you go to the Wakanda ceremony in Africa? Go to the Wakanda ceremony in Africa, where it's a continent that's mostly blacks, and there won't be any institutional racism, institutional whatever, privilege, all the crap that they make up, and you can go to Wakanda with the Black Panther and you can celebrate and have your own award ceremony and you won't have to worry about racism. But here's the truth. I didn't hear anything about the film Concussion when it came out. I didn't hear a peep about it. Maybe the film sucked. Maybe the timing was bad. But to jump to racism and to blame white people is a damn circus. So, I think this is all very interesting because I think it signals the end of an era. I think YouTube's career, Will Smith's career signals the end of an era. Will Smith came from a different time where in order to be a successful entertainer, you had to master the craft of acting, get on television, be in movies, and all these things. But we live in a very different time for entertainment. So much so that Will Smith, a distinguished Hollywood A-list celebrity actor, felt the need to stuff his face on the alternative entertainment media platform known as YouTube and stuff his face onto the YouTube Rewind, even though everybody knows that Will Smith ain't got nothing to do with YouTube. He's not a YouTuber, and YouTube is not a platform. It has nothing to do with the old dying media industrial complex vanguard. Nothing to do with it. So I think this is the end of an era for people like Will Smith. That's why Jack Black now has a gamer channel. I mean, and honestly, it just looks like he's trolling people like PewDiePie. But this is the modern era, dude. People would rather watch someone else live stream playing video games than watch a movie half the time. And for fuck's sakes, you can do it for free on YouTube. You don't have to pay to go watch him, to watch PewDiePie live stream fucking video games. And really, that's what this whole YouTube adpocalypse, the YouTube crisis that's taking place, where they're completely out of touch with the most disliked video in the history of the internet being funded, produced, and released by the biggest video platform on the internet, YouTube, and YouTube Rewind is the most disliked video of all time. It's all representative of this clash that's happening between the old guard and the new era. And you got people like Will Smith who represent the old era trying to work their way into this new thing to dire consequences. 15 million dislikes worth of dire consequences. We have this thing now where YouTube is in a weird position because on one hand you have the dying mainstream media TV networks that feel betrayed by YouTube because YouTube is taking all the viewers away from the old television mafia, the old TV networks. And that's undeniable. That's undeniable. And so it's this transition that's happening. And you have all these issues. You have YouTube and the adpocalypse. You have the monetization crisis, where they're demonetizing a bunch of videos. And I'm just going to come out and straight up say it, guys. They're not demonetizing videos because they're not advertiser friendly. The real reason they're demonetizing videos is because it's politically incorrect, and it's not politically expedient to let anybody with an internet connection create content that's going to take eyes away from the idiot television boxes that put people into comas. And so there is a war taking place right now. Just double check the health of the stream. Great. There is a war that's taking place right now. And I think it's really summarized by this tweet thread that was put up, let's see, just a few days ago actually. And the tweet thread is from some dude named Guillaume Chaslot. And apparently he's a former YouTube engineer. He worked on the artificial intelligence. He says, I worked on the AI that promoted them. YouTube announced they will stop recommending some conspiracy theories such as flat earth. I worked on the AI that promoted them by the billions. Here is why that's a historic victory for YouTube to censor flat earth. Let's watch. You go through this guy's retarded. I don't care what anybody says. This guy, first of all, he seems to be a flaming liberal. So that's all you need to know. Flaming liberal, biased, privileged, white, upper class, lives in a white gated community, while telling everybody else they have to live with third world brown people, and just, you know, it's called white liberal supremacy. White liberal. If you ever see someone who identifies as a liberal Democrat, they're actually white liberal it's called white liberal supremacy. It's racism. Okay, so he writes, Brian is my best friends-in-law. After his dad died in a motorcycle accident, he became depressed. He fell down the rabbit hole of YouTube conspiracy theories with flat earth, aliens, and co. Now he does not trust anyone. He stopped working, seeing friends, and wanting kids. Brian spends most of his time watching YouTube, supported by his wife. For his family, friends, and parents, his story is heartbreaking. But from the point of view of YouTube's AI, he's a jackpot. We designed YouTube's AI to increase the time people spend online because it leads to more ads. The AI considers Brian as a model that should be reproduced. It takes note of every single video he watches and uses that signal to recommend it to more people. So this guy is trying to use some anecdote of some guy's, his best friend named Brian, whose dad died in a motorcycle accident, and he became depressed. And while he was depressed, he got sucked into a rabbit hole of YouTube videos about flat earth and all these other terrible things, aliens, whatever. So here's what's funny. He's trying to demonize YouTube. But the truth is, if someone's dad dies and they become depressed, how many people become alcoholics because of shit like that? How many people become obese because of shit like that? I mean, making it seem like YouTube is this nefarious drug that will prey and latch on to the vulnerable is so ridiculous. But more importantly is this, he's trying to make it seem like watching endless hours of YouTube is so bad for a person's health. I want to know, is this guy coming out and saying that watching endless hours of television is a bad thing? I have no idea. I have a feeling he ain't doing that shit. Okay? As if being a comatose couch potato, drooling into your television, and then it cuts to commercials for antidepressants. You know, I can't even remember the last time I saw an ad pop up on a YouTube video for antidepressants. Has that ever happened? It tells you who the primary people watching television is, and it tells you the kind of toxic relationship viewers have with their television. The primary advertisements are like for freaking antidepressants, pharmaceutical drugs, and shit. Yeah, cut to commercials. And do you feel miserable and depressed, sitting on your couch getting brainwashed with conspiracy theories about how Donald Trump is a Russian agent with no evidence? Or do you feel depressed? Take these pills, and you'll be able to sit down. You'll be flooded with positive chemicals, so you don't feel so miserable that maybe you'll be prompted to get off the couch, turn off the television, and actually fix your life. No. YouTube's the bad one. YouTube's the evil platform we all have to be careful of. We all know. The emperor has no clothes. We see the tricks that they're trying to do. And this guy continues, how many people like Brian are allured down such rabbit holes every day? By design, the YouTube AI will try to get as many people as possible. Absolutely ridiculous. Brian's hyper engagement slowly biases YouTube. One, people who spend their lives on YouTube affect recommendations more. So the content they watch gets more views, then YouTubers notice and create more of it, and people spend even more time on that content, and back to one. So this is all just a joke. It's a circus, and I think everybody knows it. The only people who trust what they see on television are basically just low IQ people on like pharmaceutical drugs, basically. I mean, especially with that blue hypnotic light emanating from your television. So really the emperor has no clothes. Hey, Will Smith has no clothes. It's done. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki has no clothes. YouTube Rewind has no clothes. The jig is up. People know what's up. 15 million dislikes. Most disliked video on the history of YouTube was funded and produced and released by YouTube itself. The emperor has no clothes, but the people with a little bit of power over a few levers that can dictate the entire world, they, in their ivory towers, don't hear the angry pitchfork mobs gathering outside the castle gates. But they'll hear eventually, and I think they heard it with 15 million dislikes, and stuffing Will Smith. Poor Will Smith. His career is over. He's the disgraced face of YouTube Rewind. He's the disgraced face of Aladdin. And this is what it's come down to. So I just want to do a quick presentation on that. I don't really have anything against Will Smith, but I really was betrayed a few years ago when he came out and started saying that the Oscars are racist because they only give trophies to white people. It's obviously bullshit. So check the stream of health. Great, everything's looking good. So yeah, anyways, guys, that's all I wanted to say. I mean, it's a joke, but this is what we're dealing with here. So that'll be it, guys. Thank you, guys, and just double checking the chat there. Okay. All right, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments about Will Smith.